Hello, I'm Kathy Aubert, and thank you for joining this information call to learn more about my course, Courageous Leadership. You know, when I was a manager, I used to think when somebody didn't have the tools and skills to navigate conflict, or when they would just blurt out in ways that were career impacting moves, I thought I'd just give them a book or a handout or send them to a course and think that was enough. And what I found is for some people, that kind of passive learning can be useful and that's all they need. But for others, they really need that one-on-one coaching, that one-on-one mentoring to help them get what are the tools I need to engage them when they're in resistance. Yeah, but they did that first. And so I created this course for people that are already natural leaders, but see in their organization that many of their direct reports, many of their colleagues, their supervisors, when they're in conversations, they often get tense, difficult, contentious. People react on automatic pilot. They're not able to choose how they want to respond. And so tensions escalate, working relationships deteriorate, productivity hits the skids. And like I mentioned, sometimes there's career impacting moves that some people make. If you're already a natural leader and people come to you for advice, mentoring, if you're like me when I was a leader, I had a few skills and I'd share them and I'd tell them a couple stories and then I had nothing else to do. And I left those meetings feeling unfinished, wondering if what I did was useful. And the next time in a meeting, I saw those folks make very similar, inappropriate, ineffective decisions that really deteriorated our productivity and our teamwork. And so I created this course for people, I'm assuming like you, people who already are coaches and mentors, but just want some more tools, more effectiveness, maybe to go inside and do some of their own inner healing work so that they're able to show up with courage and clarity and share this. Can you imagine having an expanded toolkit so that when people come to you or you do a training or you do a team building retreat or even meetings where you share these resources, tools, concepts, and skills that you can share that are readily understandable to people, activities right out of a workbook that you can Xerox and copy and have people reflect on and do, and have meaningful conversation to help people recognize when they have hot buttons and feel triggered. Because most people think in difficult situations, you're the problem, you made me say this, you made me angry, you embarrassed me. And while these behaviors are very often inappropriate, especially in work environments or anywhere, what other people do and say doesn't cause my emotions. In fact, I react to what people do, what they don't do, and to help people realize that it's really their internal thoughts, feelings, attitudes that have them then feel all these emotions and then fuel their reactions that are unproductive in the workplace. We waste so much time, energy, resources trying to rebuild working relationships, pull a team back together, redo customer service when we've lost customers because someone reacted unconsciously on automatic pilot and they didn't have the tools in that difficult moment to navigate that situation, where you can have those tools from this course. And you'll be able to help people recognize what their triggers are, what the circumstances are when they have that automatic wave of reaction come up and they move into those stress modes, fight, flight, freeze. I've added flounder, flustered, and react in ways that we later regret, that clearly undermine organizational goals, group values, and effective teamwork. So if you're like me, having a few more tools will be useful, but also realizing in this process, just finished up a course, and people said that they got lots of tools and strategies they use in their own life, in work, outside of life, as well as have started teaching and training these to other people. And so a toolkit to help people recognize their triggers, but then to de-escalate their emotions in the moment. I'm not saying stuff emotions. In fact, sometimes it's really powerful to be present to yourself in the emotions and sometimes even describe them depending on the situation. In team meetings, that's often more effective than a course with customers. But de-escalate their emotions just enough so that they can think more clearly. Because if you're like me, when I trigger myself into deep emotions, the cognitive part of my brain is gone. The lizard part, that reptile brain, that's what gets stimulated into that fight, flight, freeze, flounder, fluster area. So get the emotions down enough with some real clear stress releasing tools that I'll share with you. Some you already have. You can teach them so that they can scan the environment, see what's needed, choose how they want to respond, no longer on automatic pilot. And then you will be able to share with them so many different tools for how they can engage when someone else is inappropriate and effective, when their behavior crosses a line, and to navigate those common unproductive moments, microaggressions that happen that really undermine teamwork, effectiveness, working relationship, productivity, innovation, creativity. I could keep going. You will train people, coaching, mentoring, supervision, whatever your vehicle, to have greater capacity to notice they're triggered and respond effectively in the moment. That'll increase organizational goals. Today, I feel so much more useful when people come to me either in coaching or in consulting that I do, and they tell me a dilemma, and I'm like, well, in my experience, here's what I did. I don't know if this will work, but here's some tools I'm using. And I just feel so much more useful when I see the light bulbs go off on their faces and they go, I kind of did this, but then I fell into this trap. I'm like, oh, I know that trap. I can relate in. So they're not feeling incompetent. They're not feeling they're not professional. They just realize they're at a learning edge and they're about to fall off. But you can help build a bridge over the other side where there's this smorgasbord of tools and strategies that you'll be able to share with them. Now, maybe not all at once, because like any smorgasbord or buffet, we can't eat all that much. But you can give them a few and a little more. You can share with them my book, and you can just set up a relationship or a training series so they get some, but they go out and practice, they come back. You can do that in a coaching relationship, mentoring relationship as well. You know, it took me years to learn these tools. I used to have two speeds: flight, get me out of here, or freeze, like I don't know what to do. I thought I had progress when I learned fight, but I fought in ways that undermined relationships, really escalated the dynamics, and had people not want to work with me again, to be really honest. But over the years, I've learned these tools, and then I realized I can share them with others, and now created this course so that you would have the tools to share with others. And I want thousands upon tens of thousands of people to get these resources so we can create more effective, inclusive work environments, really serve our clients in ways that maximize their expectations and even beyond. Think about how your life might have been different if you had a mentor, a coach, someone, a supervisor even, you could have gone to with dilemmas, and without judgment, they would have just talked with you about, here's my experience, here's what I did, or in that situation, given the politics and the people involved, try these tools and then come back and let's talk. We can debrief and I can maybe give you some more. That's how people change, and you can escalate their capacity to navigate difficult situations in the moment as you work with them. You know, I'm reminded of this one person, senior leader that I did some executive coaching with, Erica. She came to me, she would be in executive team meetings with very domineering folks that would just talk over, argumentative, conflict, and no one navigated them. They would debate and leave and never resolve issues, and she would disappear. She was a lot like me, the freeze and flight. Well, we worked over several sessions, and she practiced some tools, she watched my videos, and then she developed a little more confidence, and she would go and try a tool, come back, we debrief, and eventually she realized she found her voice, and not to engage in that conflict with the same debate, but she learned to ask questions or notice the dynamics and say, actually, I'd like to get back to the comment that you said that really got my attention. And she learned these tools. What was even more exciting is she then started practicing them on her team meetings. And some of her direct reports said, well, you're different. What happened? So she started sharing them with them, and she found that by coaching and mentoring her team leaders, they actually, in their teams, would share them, and it just escalated all the way down. That's my vision, is that you learn these, you share them, and other people share them. I think the people that get the most out of my course, Courageous Leadership, are those natural leaders who people already come to, who recognize the enormous financial cost of lost productivity, difficult working relationships, the loss of talent when people don't see how they can stay in a toxic environment, and so they leave or they shut down and just do the bare minimum. You will have much more skill to look at dysfunctional team dynamics, whether they're the ones you're on or the ones you lead or colleagues' teams, and help them really realize how they can shift those dynamics and open up creativity and release all that energy into innovation. There's another way. It is possible to have many people in the organization with the tools and capacity to navigate conflict effectively, to use all those divergent ideas and bring them together to really serve the people you're there to serve, to untangle misunderstandings, rebuild relationships, and get everyone moving in the same direction towards organizational goals. It's not always easy, but it's possible. And I've designed this course with some exciting program features that will help accelerate your learning so that you can quickly accelerate sharing these with other people. When you sign up, you not only get some videos that go over all the concepts of navigating difficult situations and why people feel triggered in the first place. You'll get those basic concepts that you can actually apply in your own life before you start to share them. And then you'll have a series of videos where I'm actually teaching how to share these in one-on-one situations as well as workshops. And so you'll hear me in, I think, 4 different videos share my best thinking of taking all these concepts and tools and how do you share these with others. You'll get my book, Turn the Tide, How to Rise Above Difficult Toxic Situations in the Workplace, as well as a 100-plus page workbook of many activities that will help you learn these tools so that you can then share them with others, and resources you can then share with them, coaching, mentoring, training. You can do all that prep work and or be doing it as we go along, because starting January 5th, we'll then have 6 live coaching calls. And what I'm most excited is people in the course will come and share a dilemma. And we'll all learn together as I do live coaching, as we brainstorm in the chat room, other ideas you have. And you'll learn how to apply the tools that you're reading and learning on your own, in your own pace, in real-time scenarios. I'll have a process that you can send ahead questions that I might address, even if you're not there, because these calls will be recorded that you will have access to, and then you can watch them on your own. You can listen to them as you're driving. You can repeatedly listen to them a couple times, or fast forward to that one section where you and I work together. Often when people are getting coaching, they're out of their body and they're so present they don't hear what they say and maybe don't even hear what I say. But you'll have the recording so you can go back to it again and again, as well as watch other people. The magic of group coaching. You may not even know you have an issue till someone else shows up with their dilemma, or how do you do this? And then you get benefit from watching me coach others, as well as hearing their content. And watching me coach others will give you more tools on how to then share these resources and coach them in the moment. So you're really getting learning on several levels. The content in the video courses, getting coached yourself and watching other people get coached and learning as they're getting coaching, and then watching me coach that meta level, so that you're like, oh, that's a technique I can use as I'm about to have a one-on-one with someone I supervise or someone I mentor. And then we'll have a closed secret Facebook group that'll just be us who are in the course, where you can, again, engage each other, say, here's what I've got, and people can offer you their thoughts, and I commit to being on there, sharing with you my thoughts as well, and do some coaching virtually on Facebook. You're probably wondering now either how to get the price of the program or how to sign up. The program is a $19.97, and so that's everything. The 6 open coaching calls, 90 minutes, the recordings, all the pre-video work, which is probably 10 plus hours, 12 hours of video, the workbook, my book. But more than that, the first people that sign up, I'm going to offer a half-price scholarship, so it'll get it down to $9.97. To find that landing page where you can get on and learn more, as well as get access to the application to see if I will offer you a scholarship if you do it in time, it's www.Kathy KathyObear.com/courageous leadership. Again, it's drkathyobear.com/courageous leadership, all one word. You just go to that link. You can read more about the course, apply for a scholarship, and I've been able, usually within a day or two, to write people back to let them know if we have it or not. And if you're able to sign up now, because now we're coming into November, I have 2 bonus calls, one mid-November and one mid-December. And so as soon as you sign up, in a week or so, I'll get you the videos, the books. You can just start reading, start looking at the videos and getting those materials. And then we'll have 2 live bonus calls, which I'll also record and send out even if you can't make them. So you can get your sea legs. So by January 5th, you are ready to go. Now, there might be people on the call that are still learning, but you'll be ready to be, here's a dilemma, and then they can learn by watching you. And by the 2nd or 3rd call, they may have courage to share some of their dilemmas, and we will all learn together. My hope is that you realize you have the capacity to help your organization shift and grow, to get thousands more people with the capacity to navigate difficult situations when they're triggered, to de-escalate their emotions, show up much more effectively in toxic environments, to untangle all those conflicts, we really get productivity. And while systemic organizational change might be needed in some organizations, that's a longer-term process. From this course, Courageous Leadership, you will get the tools and strategies today that you can use in your own experience as a leader to show up differently, as well as to start sharing with others so they've got greater capacity to create inclusive, productive organization you know is needed for the best service to all those you are here to serve. If you have any questions, please email me, call me. I have more information calls coming up if you'd like to get on and ask questions. I look forward to engaging you in any way.